Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your
boy.
Oh boy.
We're recording.
Beyonce all on his mouth like liquor.
This is a big episode today. Welcome back to Significant Lovers.
Welcome. I am Mel.
I'm Kel. We're cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a true love podcast, and we're so happy to be here.
And why is it a big episode, Kel?
It's a big one because this is Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Probably one of the biggest celebrity couples of our age.
Power couple, yep.
Yes, and they've been together for over 20 years. So this episode could have been many parts, but for some reason I made the decision to just keep it in one.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about this couple. You could have a whole podcast about them. You could go on and on. There's so much to say.
Yeah.
But
well, maybe
I have to be selective.
Maybe in the future, because I'm sure you have a lot of research that isn't going to be in the episode, we could do an episode where we cover, stuff that we had to cut out of episodes left
That's
on the
true,
cutting room
yeah.
floor, and so you can save it and we can revisit it sometime for a bonus episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I know, I feel like there is sometimes things that we don't include or like tangents that are kind of related but not really. Yeah, but yes, we're doing it. This has been a couple, I feel like, kind of similar to Bennifer, where we always knew we were going to do them eventually, but have been putting off because it's so big. But also, Mel and I, this is kind of funny, we're both hungover.
Yeah.
Because last night was the Oscars, and we're really into that. And we're both partaking in the hair of the dog right now, which we usually don't do.
No, I told myself
yeah.
all day, I'm not going to drink. Like, I need to go easy. And here we are. The recording time came around, and I was like, you know what? It will feel better to drink.
I've been drinking. I'm drinking.
Surfboard.
Drunk in love.
Surfboard.
Yeah.
Running on that surfboard.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous. I need to be up for this episode. I had stage fright, so I'm having a little beverage. And you know what? It is making me feel better.
Me too. I hate to say it. I really do.
Yep. Yeah, last night was the Oscars. Thank you to everybody who did not trash on us for our Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach episode. Had some supportive comments. I was nervous about that. So, thanks. What were you going to say, Mel?
Oh, I was going to ask you about that couple.
Oh,
if
yes.
you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
So what 3 words would you use to describe them? I'm really curious.
Okay, the 3 words I would use to describe them as a couple are ambitious, strong, and calculated.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. Calculated.
Yep. I know, and I'm also a little nervous because I know Beyonce has one of the biggest fandoms today. So, give us a little grace if we leave something out or get something a little bit wrong because there's a lot to go through. But it's been fun. It's been fun learning more about them because I never really paid that close attention. I mean, everybody knows about them, some things about them, like the elevator incident.
Oh, yeah.
Which we will talk about. And I don't even know what it's called, pregnancy gate or...
Oh, I forgot about that.
People thought Beyonce was faking her pregnancy.
Myself included.
Yeah, there's been big moments throughout pop culture of their relationship. And their music, too, like Crazy in Love, so many songs. But I didn't know too much about them, so it's been fun. But I guess I should get into it because it's going to be long. All right. I'm going to start with Miss Beyonce Knowles, just a little bit of background information. Because who is she? I mean, she seems like such a goddess pop star, almost like on another cloud level. These days, she seems so polished and almost like unattainable. You know what I mean? But who is she really? Where did she begin? She was born September 4th, 1981 in Houston. Which reminds me, have you heard her new country songs?
Yeah, I actually...
Gone country?
Oh, the second one I haven't listened to that much, but the Texas Hold'em one I love. I feel like it's
Me
like
too,
a
actually.
drug to me.
I feel like they're pretty divisive. Like, some people aren't so happy about it, or they're like, what's going on? But
Oh, yeah.
I really like it.
You know what? I feel
fun.
like boys don't like it for some reason. I told my boyfriend,
Really?
like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. And for some reason, I thought he would be too. And he was like, I hate it.
What?
And then his
Yeah, I
roommate
really
also
like the
hated
Texas
it.
Hold'em.
I love it.
Me too.
This ain't
I'm
Texas.
excited. I think it's a good move for her. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like very soulful. I love it. And Lana's going country too, so it's gonna be interesting.
I know.
What like
I don't know what's going on.
I know. I wonder if Taylor Swift's gonna come crawling back.
She's like, wait a second.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Everybody's going back to country? Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
Maybe.
bet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, yeah, she was born in Texas, Houston, Texas, and she has a sister, younger sister, Solange, who was born 5 years after her. She grew up pretty wealthy in Houston. Her dad, Matthew Knowles, was a businessman. He was an executive for medical sales at Xerox, and he made 6 figures. And her mom, Tina, owned a salon, and they lived in like a really nice part of town in a mansion. And about her name, because I've always been curious but never looked into it, like where does the name Beyonce come from? Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting that her mother, Tina, realized that her family name, her maiden name, Beyonce,
Mm-hmm.
it's spelled Beyince. It's French, was dying out, and she said, oh God, we'll run out of Beyonces. So she gave her daughter, Beyonce, a variant of her maiden name, which I think is cool.
That's really cool, and wow, like that's really gonna live on now.
Yeah, seriously. Beyonce sang and danced from an early age, as a lot of people do that we talk about on the show, and she first started getting really serious about it around age 10. Her father, Matthew Knowles, knew she could be a star and started coaching her. He got really intense about it. He would make her run a mile in the morning while singing to build up her ability to sing and dance at the same time. And
what? That's crazy.
Yeah, he ended up becoming her manager, and he was so intense about this. You know, like practice every day, practice for hours, singing and dancing. And she and a bunch of other girls in the area formed a group called Girls Time, and they would sing and dance just at local places, even like at the mom's salon. Kind of reminds me of Mel. Remember that group that we used to see?
Oh, Girl Authority.
On stage. Girl Authority.
Yeah.
They would sing and dance, and yeah.
That's my wow. That's my wow. You guys don't get the reference.
I feel like they were kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
And there were a lot of different rotating members, and there were a lot of girls, but this group eventually became Destiny's Child later on. And actually, Kelly Rowland was there from the early days. But there were a lot of different rotating members, and her dad, Matthew Knowles, was super into it. He actually quit his job. Wait, I lost my place. I'm like going off memory, but I lost my place right now. He quit his job to take classes in music management and made it his full-time job, basically, to get Destiny's Child record deal and to perform. Like, he was so invested.
Paid off.
Yeah, it did. I was wondering, why wasn't Solange in Destiny's Child?
Yeah, that's a great question.
She's a singer, too. And
well, was she too young at the time?
She might have been. I think she was probably too young. And I guess she was a backup dancer for them sometimes. But according to Matthew Knowles, even from a young age, Solange didn't want to do it, didn't want to be part of it, and wanted to do her own thing. He said, many of you aren't aware, but I personally wanted Solange to be in Destiny's Child. That didn't appeal to her. Which is kind of crazy that she would turn that down, but she seems independent, and I can almost see her being like, no, I don't want to be with my sister and her friends. Like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a younger sibling thing, too. Like, like purposely not wanting to do something that your older siblings are doing.
Yeah. Matthew Knowles was really overbearing and caused a lot of issues with the Destiny's Child girls, and apparently he wanted Beyonce to be the lightest skinned girl in the group so he would make the other girls tan.
Wait, that's terrible.
I know. And his behavior, led to some of the members quitting, like Latavia Robertson and LaToya Luckett and Farrah Franklin. They all over time quit. And then it ended up with the final 3 that we know today, which is Kelly Rowland, Michelle Williams, and Beyonce. And they had a lot of hit songs, like Survivor.
Say my name, say my name.
Yes. Yeah, they were really, really big. But Beyonce was kind of always, I think, the star or like the strongest singer of Destiny Child. And she has acknowledged that she's a workaholic and very competitive with herself and a bit of a perfectionist. But she also seems very warm and fun. This sounds weird, but she does remind me of Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, I see a lot of similarities.
And I do think they are 2 of the biggest stars today. And I see that. I feel like they are so meticulous about their career and, yeah, very competitive with themselves, always wanting to be better. And there's more similarities that will come up. But
I would say they're both, like, at the same level. Like, very few people can probably relate to that level of fame. But Beyonce seems a little bit more unattainable. I feel like Beyonce, she very much holds back.
Yes. I feel like Beyonce, when she was younger, was a little bit more down to earth. Like, she would do talk shows, she would do interviews, But now she really doesn't. Yeah. You really only ever see her through her music or, like, official photo shoots. It's very professional.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's in the royal family or something. It's just, like, very polished.
Oh, yeah. I can't picture her, like...
in her own way.
On a late-night talk show.
I know. Before Jay-Z, she apparently dated the R&B singer Marquise Houston for a little bit. And as a teenager, she dated a guy named Lyndall Locke for 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I always thought she didn't date anybody before Jay-Z.
She kind of... Well, I'll get into this later, but I think that other guy, the R&B singer, I don't think that was a very long thing at all. And then her other boyfriend, they were together for 6 years, but, they were super young. Yeah. Like, literally in high school. So that's basically it. Whereas Jay-Z, about to get to him, his list of who he dated before Beyonce is too long. I can't even read them all.
Was he married before?
He wasn't married before, no.
Okay. That's good, at least.
But he was older, so, it's understandable that he dated a lot of people. Okay, so who's Jay-Z? Oh, my God. He has quite a story. He was born Sean Corey Parker, born December 4th, 1969, in Brooklyn, New York. So he is 12 years older than Beyonce.
Oh, but they're both born on the 4th, right? Interesting.
That's true. He grew up in the Marcy House projects in Bed-Stuy, and he has 3 siblings, and his father actually abandoned them, sadly, when he was pretty young, leaving his mother, Gloria, a single mother.
How much older did you say he is?
He's 12 years older than Beyonce.
Oh, okay. Not crazy.
Yeah. Later in life, him and his father did reconnect before his father died in 2003. So, very intense. He had a really tough life. Like, seriously, the ultimate rags to riches story. It's kind of incredible. He was living in the projects. He was really poor. There was crime all around him. He apparently shot his brother when he was 12 years old.
By accident?
I know. I think it wasn't by accident. But he was a kid, so...
Okay, we'll let it slide.
I know, and he has said, talking about the incident, he said guns were everywhere in his life. Yeah. And when he was only, like, in high school, I think he started dealing crack cocaine. Oh, and he dropped out of high school sophomore year. I know. He got really good at being a drug dealer, and he was super organized. He was literally a drug dealer. Like, it's out in the open. People know this. He was super organized about it and made a legit business out of this and made a lot of money. So, like, even before he became a successful rapper, he was doing pretty well for himself just being a drug dealer. But there was a lot of crime. Guys, don't get involved with organized crime because there's a lot of problems that follow you. He apparently got shot a couple times.
Oh, my God.
During this time in his life. I know. But, he was also writing poetry, letting out his feelings. He started setting it to music, making beats, and he would read the dictionary to learn new words. And people were really impressed by him, impressed that he knew all these words. And he started doing rap battles around Brooklyn in the late 80s and early 90s, and he battled LL Cool J, apparently.
Oh.
And then I was wondering about his name. So when I lived in Bushwick, I remember having this like revelation on the train station because I lived on the J train and the express train is Z, so there's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Right next to each other, and he lived at, by the Marcy Myrtle stop, basically. Like, he took the Jay-Z train, so I was like, oh my god, this must be where he got his name from. But apparently not.
What?
I know.
Where's it from?
I guess he was known as Jazzy around the neighborhood, and he adopted the name Jay-Z to pay homage to his mentor Jazzo. I still feel like there must be some kind of like subconscious influence from the subway station, the train, but whatever. I know, I was so excited when I was like, oh my god, that must be where it's from. Nope.
Oh.
But yeah, his first official rap single in my lifetime came out in 1995, and he made his own CDs and sold them out of his car, and he was having trouble getting a record deal with a major label, so him and his friends Dame Dash and Kareem Biggs Burke created Rockefeller Records as an independent label, and he released his first album in 1996, Reasonable Doubt, and it reached 23 on the Billboard, so not a number one hit right away or anything, but pretty good for just being like an independent label. And it had the songs Can't Knock the Hustle and Brooklyn's Finest, which maybe some of you guys have heard of. And then his career steadily went up from there. His next albums had songs like Can I Get a... everyone like, Can I Get a... Woo, woo? I feel like everybody knows that song now.
Can I Get a... Woo, woo?
Yeah. In 1999, this was crazy to me, he apparently stabbed record executive Lance and Riviera, who was behind bootlegging his third album. So I guess this guy had been selling Jay-Z's album. This is before streaming and online sales, so this was all like CDs. He was selling Jay-Z's record illegally and profiting off of it. And there's reports that Jay-Z stabbed him during an album release party for Q-Tip, and Jay-Z surrendered to the police and was placed under arrest, but then he was released on bail. And then when he was indicted in court, he pleaded not guilty, and then him and his lawyers contended that they had witnesses and videotapes proving he was nowhere near Riviera during the incident. And then and a lot of people said he was actually nowhere near him. He didn't do it. And then later, he pleaded guilty to it. And he even admitted in his memoir that he did it. But weirdly, in 2023, the guy that he apparently stabbed said that Jay-Z lied and that he wasn't the one that stabbed him. And said, no, Jay was not the guy that actually stabbed me. It's never been his history.
Why would he admit to it then?
I don't know.
What is the motivation? That is so odd. Hey, would that be a deal breaker for you?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I could start.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't think I would start a relationship with someone if they had been arrested or accused of stabbing someone.
Yes. It's so weird. Either he did do it and people are trying to cover for him for some reason. But it's just weird that he himself admitted it while other people are trying to say he didn't.
Is he covering for someone?
Or maybe he thinks it looks good for his image or something that he stabbed somebody.
That's so crazy.
Like for his story.
Yeah, for his... I don't think it does look good for his image. I mean, I've never heard...
I mean, this is early in his career when his whole thing is like, I'm from the streets. And I rose up. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just pulling strings here, but I just don't get this whole story.
It's so crazy. If someone stabs someone like that now, like, if their career would just be a non-starter. Like, that is, like...
I know.
How do you come back from that?
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
If he did do it, that would make me fearful that he has, like, anger management problems.
Yeah.
Like, to stab someone, that's, like, sick.
I know.
What are you capable of if you can do that?
Yeah, it is concerning. Anatomy of a Stab. What happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. Luckily, the guy was okay.
Okay, that's
so.
good. That makes
weirdly,
a huge difference.
It does. It does make a huge difference. Weirdly, his album The Blueprint came out on September 11th, 2001.
Oh my
crazy.
God, that's a terrible day for it to come out.
Yeah, terrible. Must have been really, not getting a lot of publicity, but it was still pretty successful. It has that song on it, Izzo, which is like H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. I was realizing, like, well, because I'll admit, guys, I don't really listen to Jay-Z's music, but I was realizing from this episode that I know a lot of his songs, actually. They're just, some of them are iconic. Later on, his song 99 Problems.
Yep.
I mean, that's just become a saying in the English language. I've got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one, or but a blank ain't one. You can just insert whatever you want to say, And Empire State of Mind, that's a New York, iconic New York song now. But yeah, his image became very much someone from the streets who rose above and then became this, like, classy, self-made businessman that really started to become his thing, like, in the 2000s. And, yeah, he actually had a lot of feuds with business partners and such and people with the labels earlier in his career and kind of throughout his career. And in the early 2000s, he had a retirement show where he said he was no longer going to make music. And the first part of the show, he was in a t-shirt and jeans, and the second half, he was, I think, in a tuxedo, just showing, like, his new self. He's, like, this classy Gatsby guy now. But he did come back. He came back with more music. I hate when people do that.
I know, me too.
But yeah, not only is Jay-Z a rapper, he is also a businessman. And so is Beyonce, and it's just kind of crazy to me how many business ventures he has. Like, he started this Rockaware clothing company. He had an endorsement with Reebok. He invested in Armand de Bernat Champagne. He was the co-brand director of Budweiser Select. He purchased a media company, Aspiro. He started Tidal Music Company.
Oh, wow.
He invested in an app called JetSmarter. He was the president of Def Jam Records. He was part owner of the New Jersey and then the Brooklyn Nets for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
He had a media company called Life and Times. He owned the 40/40 Club in several cities. He launched his own cigars. He started Rock Nation. He is recently planning to build a casino in Times Square, I guess. He does a lot. It's insane. But Beyonce and Jay-Z, I'm jumping ahead, they're not together yet in the story, but they have done a lot of philanthropic work, too. They have donated lots and lots of money, too. So sometimes it is kind of staggering to me, like, how much wealth they have. They really do. There's a lot of them, flying around in jets and being in helicopters and, all these lavish vacations. But they have donated a lot of it, too. But yeah, since this is going to be a long episode, I feel like this is kind of like the episodes we've had for presidents or royals. Like, I can't get into every single musical or business thing that happened.
Yeah, there's no way.
But I'll mention it if it's really important. But you can just assume throughout this whole relationship story that they're in the studio, they're recording, they're shooting music videos, they're going to business meetings, Jay's in the conference room on the phone and all that stuff. But as a person, to me, I think he can open up and have fun. But he seems like he's really selective with who he opens up to. And I watched some interviews with him, and I was kind of surprised that he seemed kind of shy. Not exactly shy, but just that he didn't really open up and would answer very simply, and he would kind of joke around. But he's very guarded. He seems pretty serious sometimes, too. So I feel like Beyonce has this warmth about her that definitely compliments him. But before Beyonce, he purportedly dated, I thought this was interesting, a woman named Blue Cantrell, a singer.
Oh, Blue?
Just weird. Yeah.
That's odd.
I know. And also dated the model Chanel Scott, actress Rosario Dawson, possibly dated the singer Aaliyah, maybe Lil' Kim, and a lot more women.
Naming your child the same name as an ex, it's not like it's a common name. That's crazy. Imagine being his ex, Blue, be like, what?
I know.
It is a compliment, I guess.
It is. She did spell it without the E,
Oh, okay.
but still, that's blue. I think that was just like a stylistic choice. Anyway, how did they meet? What the heck? They met in 2000. Beyoncé and Jay-Z say they met when she was 18, but started dating when she was 19. He was older. He's 12 years older, so he would have been 32 or so. It's kind of crazy. And a lot of people debate how old she really was when they met. Some people think maybe they met earlier, when she was even younger, but they don't want people to know that. I don't know. That's just speculation. The official story that people tell is that they met sitting on a plane together, heading to the MTV Spring Break Festival in 2000. And she told Oprah, "We were friends for a year and a half before we went on any dates. We were on the phone for a year and a half, and that foundation is so important for a relationship. Just to have someone who you just like is so important, and someone who is honest." So I guess they met, and according to Beyonce, they talked on the phone for a year and a half.
Wow.
But didn't date yet.
It is very young. She's like 18 years old.
It's really young.
Yeah.
I know. And then in October 2000, Beyonce signed a deal for a solo record. So this is the start of her solo career and who she is today. And so I put this as 2002, might have been 2001 or 2002, but Beyonce said that, they didn't go on a real date for a year and a half, and they went on their first date at the Nobu restaurant that celebrities love.
Yep.
And Jay-Z actually talked about their first date in his song I think it's their song. Later in life, they have like a joint album. Their song 713, and he said, "You came back, I let you set the date, Nobu on the plate, I brought my dude to play it cool, my first foolish mistake."
He brought a friend?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
So Elvis
That's
of him.
not a date. If someone brings their friend, I'd be like, oh, this is a hangout. It's not a date.
It's kind of, it could be cute, like maybe he's nervous, but I know. I think if you were actually there, you would be kind of weirded out.
Also, you've already been talking for a year and a half. I think if you just met, like, I think it is nice if, like, you meet someone casually in a bar and then you're like, I don't really remember what they look like. I don't remember what they were like. Like, you bring your friend, I'll bring my friend, and we'll just hang out. But, like...
That's true. They know each other.
It's a fancy restaurant. Like, your friend is sitting in the booth with us? That's odd.
I know. Weird. I guess it didn't faze her that much. Because then, that same year in October, they collaborated for their song '03 Bonnie and Clyde on Jay's album. And now the public didn't know yet if they were dating. They thought this might be just a musical thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but I think that song might be a reference to an Eminem song, which is called 97 Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh.
Gaining some rap knowledge. Apparently, I don't know if this is... I found this in a really old article. I don't know if it's true because the picture was kind of weird, but I read an article that said that Beyonce had a self-designed Italian charm bracelet made that featured a B heart J.
Oh, that's cute.
Maybe, maybe not. 2003, once again, people still don't really know what's going on with them, but then they released the song Crazy in Love together, which is on her album, and they won a Grammy for Best R&B Song and Best Rap/Song Collaboration in 2004. And at this point, people didn't know they were together, but the song was a hit. Rolling Stone that year put it as number 118 on the 500 best songs of all time, which I thought was pretty high and impressive for a brand new song. Like a song that came out that year, they're saying is the 118th best song of all time. And today they have it as number 16 as the best song of all time.
Wow. I mean, it is a great song.
It is a great song. I mean, the list is really subjective. I don't agree with everything on the list, but it is a really good song.
And, like, I love variations of it, too. There's a,
me too.
Like, slowed down version of it. It's so good.
I love the Great Gatsby one.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I didn't know that Jay-Z was a producer of The Great Gatsby.
Oh, interesting.
2013 movie. Mm-hmm.
Wow, he's everywhere.
Makes sense. Yep, he is everywhere.
Yeah, he is a Gatsby type, too, like you said.
Can see why people accused him of being in the Illuminati. He's controlling everything. But yeah, they continue to be featured on more songs together over the years, including Deja Vu and Upgrade You on her B-Day album, and then she was on his song Hollywood. In 2004, Rolling Stone asked her about her and Jay's relationship, and she said, "I don't say I'm single. People are like, why does she say that they're just friends? I don't say that. I just don't talk about it. I just want to protect my private life." And then she went on to say, "In relationships, I think a lot like a guy. If I do something wrong, I don't get emotional. I think about it and I change it and fix it. I've always been very logical." But then she says, "When I do anything, I do it. If I fall in love, I'm there." And she said she'd like to have children one day and said, "If it was a perfect world, I would have 2 boys and a girl. I love little boys and girls are so much drama."
Okay, there was a lot of internalized misogyny in what she was saying there. No shade to Beyonce, but...
it was younger Beyonce.
A younger time.
I think she's grown up,
Yeah. Oh, I don't think she'd ever say that now.
No.
But that just shows how toxic society is. Telling you to be strong, you have to be like a guy.
Yeah, I know.
And, okay, I don't get emotional. Jay-Z stabbed somebody. But allegedly, because he was upset. So I think a little crying isn't too bad.
I know. It's interesting. But I do think that she, whether that's all true or not, I don't know. But she definitely does, like, when she has her sights on something, she goes for it. And maybe she does put up with some things just because it is maybe for the greater good of her, what she wants, or I don't know.
But I do, unfortunately, as powerful as Beyonce is, it's sad because I've gotten the sense, maybe we'll see otherwise, that she's a little submissive in this relationship.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's very interesting. You see that a lot with really powerful people.
Yeah. That
in their private life, they're actually letting somebody else kind of rule them. I don't know. I feel like this has happened so many times, like Tina Turner. Or there's been a lot of women that are just so amazing, and you would think just have it all. But I mean, we'll get into it, but I see what you're saying. In the article, it said that even though she was kind of avoiding talking about him, that she kept saying the phrase "we" to obviously mean her and Jay-Z, and the journalist asked where she was during the blackout of 2003 in New York when the whole city lost power, and she said, "We were at the 40/40 Club," which is Jay's club. Yeah. And she said there was a generator, so the party never stopped. Well, she didn't say that, but there was a generator, so the party never stopped. And then she said, "At 4 a.m., we took a plane to Italy. We got to Rome, and they had a blackout there."
Oh, wow. Followed them.
That's crazy that they just did that, though. Like, we were at the club, and then 4 a.m. we flew to Italy. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, these people are not very relatable.
No, not at all. Different world.
I mean, there will always be some human things that are relatable, but that aspect, no. In 2005, this was sad. Just something that, keep in mind was going on with them. Jay's 18-year-old nephew, Khalik, died in a car crash, and he was actually in a car that Jay had bought him for his graduation, which is kind of sad.
That's really sad.
Which is really sad. And Jay-Z had made many references to his nephews in his songs, and he had said that, "I carry my nephews like my sons, always have, and they have filled that void for me." So that's really sad. Must have been hard.
Yeah.
Also in 2005, this is the start of some rumors in the press because Rihanna is coming onto the scene, and Jay-Z was the one that got her signed to Def Jam Records, which he was now the president of. And there were a lot of rumors about him cheating on Beyonce with Rihanna.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of publications pitting them against each other. And these rumors have gone on for a really long time. And I don't really know what to make of them.
I've never heard them,
I don't know,
to be real with you.
I don't know if people are just saying that because they're like two of the biggest stars. I don't know. But I'll get back to this later. So basically, Rihanna's like new on the scene. He's helping her with her career, but supposedly everything's still good with him and Beyonce. Also in 2005, there was this Fox article about Beyonce taking credit for things that aren't hers. And this is something that happens actually a lot with both Beyonce and Jay-Z over the years, over the decades. People coming out to be like, actually, I wrote that, or I did that. The article was about how Beyonce did not write her big hit, Crazy in Love, or even conceive of it. It said that the horns, percussion, chief melody, overall feel was written by the late and very great Eugene Record of the Chai Lights, who died this summer, and that the person who sought out the track and put it all together was Rich Harrison. And he seemed just annoyed because Beyonce had in another article talked about how she wrote Crazy in Love and made it sound like, she said, Crazy in Love was really hard to write because there was so much going on. I mean, I had written, 7, 8 number one songs with Destiny's Child in a row. And then she said, I knew the song wasn't complete because the horns were so old school, so they needed Jay-Z's rap. So this guy was just kind of annoyed that she was acting like she wrote the song. And
giving no credit where credit is due.
And I mean, usually I think her songs do have credits to writers, but she has written lyrics and I think melodies, and she has written songs, but she does have a lot of people write for her. But this is kind of a routine thing that happens where she takes all credit for it, and it's kind of crazy because there's some songs that people think, this will come up later, are about Jay-Z, but she didn't even write the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't always trust everything you hear in the songs.
I feel like people often do automatically assume whoever is singing the song wrote the song.
Yes.
And always assume it's
still
autobiographical.
She's still amazingly talented. I mean, she's a singer, she's a performer. I mean, Elvis didn't write his own songs either. So it's no shade, but it's just a reoccurring theme that people come out of the woodwork to be like, hey, they stole my thing, or like they're not acknowledging that I wrote this. And it's a theme. 2006, I'm going to skip this, not relevant. 2007, so they're still together, still dating. In 2007, Rihanna's song Umbrella comes out, which features Jay-Z, and I just mentioned that because Rihanna's becoming even more of a star. These rumors just keep coming up. I don't know why. People saying that Jay-Z cheated with Rihanna. But about 3 months later, news comes out that Beyonce and Jay-Z are engaged.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Yes. The Associated Press released that he popped the question during a trip to Cannes, France. And, of course, she said yes. And the article said that they were planning to marry in Hawaii in the fall. That did not happen. But she said, I want to get married and really want a family. Once again, she said, in a perfect world, to have 2 boys and a girl. And she said, you know someone loves you by the way he treats you and respects you. Me and Jay respect each other.
I feel like her second daughter, that would be awkward to hear years later.
I know. You keep saying you want 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah. She got 2 girls and a boy.
So specific. Yeah. That same month, they went to a nude beach in France, but were fully clothed.
Okay. How crazy would that be to be on the beach and you see them naked?
I know.
If they see you naked, that's even crazier.
I know. I guess they were just checking it out. I thought this was kind of funny. There was this article from Entertainment Weekly by Bethany Butler about how she was getting sick of Beyonce and that she was overexposed, and that everybody was saying to the left, and it was too much.
To the left. Wow, she does have a lot of iconic songs.
She does. That was a big song.
Yeah, that's a song, like, whenever I get my heart broken, that song helps me.
It's just funny because, like, girl, this is just the beginning.
I know, for real.
December. Oh, yeah. Once again, there were rumors about Jay-Z, that he hooked up with Rihanna at a club.
Oh, no.
And Rihanna addressed this. She said to Allure magazine, this is what really happened. He and my management, they have each other's contact information. I went to Pink Elephant, which is a club, and he came by. All of a sudden, the next day, I'm seeing that we were kissing and hugging up each other. You can't even go out with a friend who's a celebrity and have a good time without people making shit up. Well, at least he's good looking, right?
Well,
and about Beyonce,
you don't have to add the good looking part.
I know, what?
Also, he's
and then
not.
Yeah, you did not need to add that. And then about Beyonce, she said, she's Beyonce and I'm his new protege. When we see each other, we say hi. We're not enemies, but we're not friends.
Huh.
I don't know if that helped.
None of that helped.
I don't know. We'll never know if anything happened or not.
But I just, like, while you were talking, I Googled, like, Rihanna and Beyonce, and they have posed together and, like, taken pictures together. So it seems like all must be okay.
Yeah, must be.
But they are contemporaries in many ways. Like, how could you avoid each other for so long?
That's true. 2008, April 2008, they get married. Woo!
Congrats.
They get married in a private ceremony, apparently held in Jay's Manhattan penthouse. How Gossip Girl of him. And they decorated the apartment with 70,000 orchids flown in from Thailand for the event. Oh my god. At this point, they've been together for 8 years. So that's a good amount of time.
Wow, 8 years.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
she's still
long
pretty
time.
young, so I guess
Yeah.
she's like 26.
Wow.
If I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Yeah, it was very private. There were no photos sent to the public. Nobody saw what this wedding looked like for a really long time. Both the Destiny's Child ladies were there, and Gwyneth Paltrow was there too, because I guess her and Beyonce are friends.
Oh, that's sweet. Wow, Gwyneth's kind of everywhere too, isn't she?
I know. She's the new John Mayer.
I know.
She's in every episode. Yeah, they had a no social media policy and collected everybody's Blackberries because of 2008. And so no photos were allowed. But in recent years, pictures have been released that they're pretty blurry. So I think they were taken on Blackberries or something. But now we've seen a couple pictures from it. And Jay did an interview with Vibe. And he was asked if they got married. And he said, "That's ridiculous for me to confirm. I'm going to say, I think that's a ridiculous question. I just think it's really part of your life that you got to keep to yourself. You have to. You'll go insane in this type of business. You have to have something that's sacred to you and the people around you. I shared so much of my life, my childhood, my family, the death of my nephew with the world. I should have something to hold on to. You need something for your sanity to say, okay, I could chill out and this is it."
If you got married, that's pretty big, though.
I know. Yeah, he does seem kind of emotional. That seems like an overreaction to me about being asked if you got married.
That's like polite. Like, oh, did you get married? If so, I'll wish you congratulations.
Weird. Beyonce and Jay shared that they got matching tattoos of the Roman numeral 4 on their ring finger, which is significant to them because they were both born on the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Her September 4th, him December 4th, and they were married on April 4th, which is 4-4. 4 is their number.
It's a good number.
It's just funny to me because I'm not even like a Swiftie, but it just makes me think of Taylor Swift because like 13 is so her number. And like they use the number 4 a lot. It's their thing. In May 2008, there was a news article that said they were buying a house in Scarsdale, New York. And I didn't really even investigate this to see if it was true, but there were so many articles about them moving places, and I think probably some of them are true. I think they have many properties, but I just wanted to ask you, Mel, do you remember around this time in like 2008, or maybe even later, like 2011, there were all these fake articles that were claiming that celebrities were moving to like Chelmsford or Reading, Mass. Do you remember that?
No, I don't actually.
I remember it was a thing. There were like all these fake articles of saying, "Oh, so-and-so is moving to your hometown." And then there's like these fake quotes.
And it'd be like a spam.
It would be like these fake quotes saying that they wanted to get away from Hollywood and they really like the town. And I remember people like totally falling for it. I don't really get what the objective was. I guess just to get clicks. But it just reminded me of that.
Yeah, that seems
If anybody else remembers that, let me know.
Yeah.
October 2008, Single Ladies is released. Wow. What a song.
The best music video of all time.
Of all time. I mean, yeah, that song.
It is a great music video. But honestly, I thought that was an overreaction on his part. I mean, obviously it was an overreaction.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Great music video, great dance, iconic. Mm-hmm. But it is just kind of like a dance in a room. It is. Maybe cut that out.
No, but I mean, it is just dance. And then I wasn't even going to mention this, but there was some controversy about someone saying, like, that dance was my choreography. It was iconic, though. I mean, there was, like, that SNL spoof. And a lot of people were dressing up as it and doing the dance.
Yeah, it was unique.
My friends and I actually learned the dance. I ended up quitting before it happened, but we were going to do it in the talent show. But yeah, this was part of her I Am Sasha Fierce album when she had an alter ego. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Yeah, so it was kind of like Beyonce. She was herself. She was kind of more of an R&B singer. And then there was this like Sasha Fierce, who was her diva alter ego and was more pop. And I think it only lasted for that album. And later on, she just said that, Sasha Fierce I'm comfortable with just being that side of myself now. I don't need Sasha Fierce anymore. So
that's kind of a unique way to expand your brand.
Yeah, it was. November 2008, she talked to 17 about what she's learned from her relationship. 17, I used to get that magazine.
Me too.
And she said that she learned, I guess probably that we're all human. I don't care if you're picture perfect on every magazine cover and you're the most handsome, successful, coolest guy. You still get sad and you still get your feelings hurt and you still get confused and vulnerable and nervous and scared. You have to find a person you can make it through the tough times with. 2009, the couple attends President Obama's inauguration, and Beyonce sings America the Beautiful at the swearing-in ceremony, which is a big moment for them. And, I mean, a lot happened in 2009, but the only other thing I included in this timeline that I thought was funny was that Beyonce shared on her Tumblr, which, what? I didn't even know she had Tumblr. She shared pictures of her nails, which had her and Jay's faces painted on them.
Wow.
I know. 2010, I did not know this, but in 2010, a woman named Wanda Satterwhite, I hope I said that right, claimed that Jay-Z was the father of her son, Reimer,
who
was conceived in 1992. So it would have been before Beyonce.
Okay. What?
The kid was 18. I know.
Is it true?
And she requested that Jay take a paternity test, and he refused.
Oh.
And she actually died a few years ago, which is sad. But to this day, the son is fighting in court to force him to take a paternity test.
Oh my God. Why doesn't he just take it?
I know. And I gotta say, he does look a lot like Jay-Z.
Does he? What's his name?
Reimer, Rymir. And the last name's like Satter, Satter. Satterthwaite? I probably said that so wrong.
Oh, he does look like Jay-Z.
I mean, why would he refuse if he was, like, confident it wasn't his son?
That's, like, terrible he's refusing, though. What if that really is your son and his own father abandoned him?
I know. The kid said, like, he said, I don't want anything from him. I just, like, want to know.
You want to know. You want, like...
Yeah.
That's that mystery your whole life hanging over you. And you have to see, okay, Jay-Z could be your father. You have to see images of him all the time. Like, he probably just wants that closure. Like, okay...
And if he is his father, that's messed up. But I don't know. I don't really know what people usually do in these situations, because I feel like it does kind of happen to celebrities a lot. But just take the test. If you're positive it's not your kid, then...
Well, it seems like he's not positive. I mean, I'm pretty positive he is the father.
Yeah. There are a lot of groups out there that, I mean... I don't know why this has anything to do with their advocacy or charity or whatever, but they say that his denial is like proof that he is the father.
Oh, totally. Wait, the group's about this specifically?
No, it's like, because I think it's a New Jersey thing that you have to pay child support.
Yeah.
You have to take a test, and if you don't, then you have to pay child support. And I think that they're from New Jersey, and so they're saying that, like, his refusal means that he is the father, basically, like, legally until he takes the test.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
I just think it's also shitty because women could never have sex with someone and then get pregnant and wipe their hands of it with, like, no repercussions. Like, the fact that, like, he could just knock somebody up, she goes through a pregnancy, she raises a child, and he just, like, acts like it has nothing to do with him. If that's the case,
I know.
like, I think that shows his character, too. I'm not really a huge fan so far. That's pretty
what
bad.
does she think of all of this?
Yeah, I honestly, if someone said you're the father, especially if it's before I met them, but also if it was during I met them too, like, I would be like, take the test. Like, I don't want to be questioning that the rest of my life either.
I don't understand what she thinks about this. I don't know. Sometimes I mean, we don't know them. And I try to speculate as much as I can and, like, research, but you can't find out everything. But in 2011, according to Glamour magazine, Beyonce made it sound like Jay-Z was possibly the only man she'd ever been with. You know, like, been with. She said, people would be surprised as the lack of my experiences I've had. When I was 12 or 13, I had my first boyfriend, and he was my boyfriend until I was 17. At that age, that was a long time. I've always been very loyal and a little more mature. I was too young for it to really be a boyfriend. We didn't live together. We didn't, that was my only experience with a guy, and since then I've only had one other boyfriend in my life, Jay.
Oh, I mean, very well could be the only man she's ever been with.
I know. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
If that's true.
It's for one of the biggest stars of all time.
I know.
That's honestly a
Beyonce.
huge... Like, that's, like, pretty impressive.
I know. Around this time, interestingly, she was working with Clint Eastwood on the remake of A Star is Born. But we know that he didn't end up directing it, and she ended up not being in it, instead Gaga was. But it's just funny how much projects can change over time. That would have been interesting. I should mention, I haven't even talked about it, but she has acted too. She's been in several films. Like, she was in Austin Powers, she was in Obsessed, some other things. Also, in 2011, the couple revealed that they were expecting their first child at the MTV VMAs in Los Angeles. Beyonce was performing, and she wore an outfit where she came out and, like, rubbed her stomach while she was singing Love on Top, and she said, I want you to stand up on your feet, I want you to feel the love that's growing inside of me, and people lost their minds. People were freaking out.
I feel like this is the time when people, like, Beyonce suddenly was like, oh my god, Beyonce, the queen. This is when she started, like, moving into an upper level of stardom, and, like, maybe like, they did a Beyonce Glee episode, and suddenly she was huge.
I definitely feel like from this time to maybe through 2014 or maybe even 2016, Beyonce was huge. The fandom was fierce. Like, it was not safe to say that you didn't like Beyonce.
No. And sometimes that pushes people away, though. Like, it's okay.
It was intense. Yeah. I feel like it's chilled out recently, but
because I feel like Taylor Swift fans are way scarier than Beyonce fans. I
feel like the way Taylor Swift has been in 2023, that's what it was like with Beyonce around this time. It was intense. There was a controversy around her pregnancy.
Yep, I remember.
She was on an Australian talk show called Sunday Night, and she walked in to sit down to talk on the show, and when she sits down, it looks like her stomach folds as she sits down.
Yep, I remember this.
And people were wondering if this was a fake pregnancy. Was she actually having a surrogate?
You know what? I know that sounds crazy, and I feel like gun to my head, she really was pregnant. But these people are of such a different wealth that, like, maybe she did. I mean, she could easily afford a surrogate, but maybe didn't want people to know.
I don't know if Beyonce has done it. We don't know for sure. But I think some celebrities have done it.
Fake their pregnancy?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because I months ago somehow found myself on this website that it was linked to from an article that was about stars, this new emerging trend of stars having surrogates because they don't want to ruin their bodies or because they don't have time to be pregnant, this kind of new trend. And I found myself on this website that sold very realistic looking baby bumps, like very well made.
Wow. So do you think they like
Stomach.
post pregnancy pictures? Make it seem like
Maybe.
they're pregnant? Wow.
I mean, I don't know who. I'm just saying, like, the fact that this is an industry. I mean, yeah, they might just use them for movies, but the people in the article, I wish I had it pulled up, like, what publication it was. They made it sound like people have used this just in their personal / professional lives. So I don't think it's, like, too insane that people thought this was a possibility that she could fake her pregnancy, is all I'm saying. I feel like someone, maybe they're not even that famous, like, I don't know. I just feel like someone maybe has done it.
I definitely don't think she faked her second one when she had twins.
No, I know. We don't know. And then there was people responding to it saying it's just the way the dress folded and it just looks like it. It is weird if you watch the video. It does look kind of strange.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It does look like it folds
soft.
in.
Yeah.
It does look soft. I don't know.
And like her bump, I don't want to overanalyze it, but like her bump does look like kind of perfect.
Yeah, it does.
I think she had,
It's a conspiracy.
I think most likely she really was pregnant, but yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think it's something that definitely could happen for stars that big, that rich. I could see even maybe the excuse of like, oh, we want to protect our surrogates' privacy, or it's no one's business that we use a surrogate, so we'll do this.
Yeah.
But that would be crazy.
But yeah, I mean, she's having a baby. Her and Jay were seen around this time out and about a couple times with Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow. I guess they were friends, couple friends, which I didn't know. And Chris Martin and Jay-Z have actually done music together, so yeah, they're close. They're doing a lot of things. They went to the U.S. Open. They went to Italy for Beyonce's birthday. They seem to really like Italy. They go there all the time. They went to Chicago. I just thought there was this funny story about that they were trying to go to this pizza place that was like really in demand, but even they had like a wait time. They couldn't get a table. So then they went to some bar next door and Beyonce got a mocktail.
Oh, wow. This is during her
November.
pregnancy?
Yes, she's still pregnant.
All right.
In November, Jay talked to People magazine about not wanting to repeat his father's mistakes, and he said
He already has.
I know. He said, it makes me a little paranoid because no matter what, I don't think any person or any male goes into a relationship thinking they're going to leave or wouldn't be there. I think circumstances a lot of times dictate things, right? I'm just a different kind of guy, he means, compared to his dad. I'm a highly principled person. I come from a real place where you had to be a highly principled person, so I'm pretty confident that I'll figure it out. Kind of weird. I mean, I guess it's a good thing, but it's interesting that he's like thinking about, am I gonna leave someday? Like, no, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then in the article, he said that they'll lavish their child, and the interviewer said, will the baby's diapers be made of gold? And he said, no, leather.
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
Funny.
Yeah. People were going crazy wondering if it was a boy or girl, going to be a boy or girl. And in November, Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child let it slip that it was a girl.
Whoa, that's a big slip.
I know. And Beyonce was asked if this was true by Katie Couric, and she kind of just said, was asked if it was true, and she just kind of said, like, she didn't really answer. Awkward. That December, though, sadly, Beyonce's parents got divorced. Well, they had a really rocky relationship. It had been on and off, and I don't think her father was faithful to her mother, so it was not the best relationship, but that's gotta be stressful, you know, while you're pregnant and then your parents are breaking up, you know, it's a lot going on. And then January 7th, 2012, Blue Ivy Carter is born.
What a famous baby.
Very famous baby.
It sucks for those twins, but like they'll never be Blue Ivy. Like they
I know.
are always in her shadows.
They
her
really
shadow.
are. They are. This was a huge deal. I mean, first of all, people were freaking out about the name. What? But yeah, I mean, this is when they became parents. It was crazy. And this is when I put in my note that maybe we should take a break.
Oh,
I actually do have to go to the
yeah, that's a
bathroom.
good idea. All right, I'll stretch.
Okay.
I'll be back. Want to
Okay.
take like a 5-minute break?
All right, sounds
Okay.
good.
All right.
We'll be back. We're back.
All right, so where are we now?
So Blue Ivy Carter has just been born.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, would you call her Bay?
Bay, yeah.
B.
B.
Bay. I feel like she kind of goes by both.
Mm-hmm. Or Beyonce.
Beyonce. They say that they're working on a super secret project together.
Okay.
And what's kind of crazy is, I don't think this is the project, but 3 weeks after her birth, they start making moves to trademark Blue Ivy's name.
Interesting.
Those
so does that
business
mean
people.
if they trademark it, nobody like can do anything with Blue Ivy? Like you can't name your kid Blue Ivy?
I don't know. I don't know if it means you can't name your kid, but they were trying to make it a trademark to use for business purposes, I guess. It's just the word. But I guess they lost the bid to trademark Blue Ivy. Didn't work out.
Interesting.
But it is weird, like, so soon after your daughter's birth.
To already be thinking about like business opportunities.
Yeah.
I guess the one argument I could see there is to prevent other people from starting businesses inspired
Maybe.
after your child.
They, same year, were doing a lot to campaign for Obama's next term, and they had a fundraiser at Jay's Club 4040. They raised $4 million in one night, and Obama was there, and he addressed the people at the party, and he said, Jay-Z now knows, what my life is like. He said, we both have daughters, and our wives are more popular than we are. And then he turned to Jay and said, so, we've got a little bond there. It's hard, but it's okay. And everybody laughed. And oh, and the Obamas, we just did a March Madness on our Instagram.
Oh my god, and they
And
They won. They not only won for this March Madness, they actually beat out previous winners, Rob and Kristen, which
I can't believe that.
I was actually shocked because I started thinking the power of those Twilight listeners was too strong, too big to
Me too.
fail, because you guys were voting for Rob and Suki when I hate to say it, I think me saying something actually changed it, because
Probably. Because Mel did make a little post when she revealed the updated bracket, made a little comment that said, not gonna lie, I'm getting worried that our results are skewed by the Twilight
they were
listeners
100% skewed.
because we didn't expect Rob and Suki to go this far. Yeah.
They were totally skewed. Like, I think, but maybe Rob and Suki had the easiest path to victory to get there. But
Maybe.
But they beat out Rachel. Oh no, they didn't. They beat out Rachel Bilson, Adam Brody. Okay, fine. Maybe not a lot of people have seen the OC. Then they beat out Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, hello, they
Who
have
are
been
such a lovable couple.
lovable couple, been together for years, 20 years. Then they beat out Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield. Stonefield. That's like a fame. I thought they were gonna.
Stonefield.
I thought they would win the whole thing. So I was like, okay, people are just
I
voting
have to
for
say
them.
something.
What do you have to say?
Oh no, I just meant you had to say something.
Oh yeah, I had to say something. Yeah, because I was
Okay.
like, I don't want these results to be not honest. But then people.
Imagine
Yeah.
if both of our March Madnesses Robert Pattinson won both.
I know. Then we'd have to take a break from the Twilight people altogether. But then I was like, okay, now I feel bad I said something, because now the Obamas are, and I think, I'm happy for the Obamas, but then they beat Robson. I was like, oh, people are just like now afraid to vote for the Twilight couples? Like, okay, you can vote Robson. Like, that's okay.
If anybody doesn't know, we used to host a Twilight podcast. So I was worried it was going to ruin our credibility of significant lovers.
I did too. Like, okay. But I'm happy for the Obamas. I think they really do deserve it, and it was great to see them there.
Yes.
It's great to have a couple that's like still together win the whole thing.
That's true. Yeah.
People were really
nice.
voting for JFK Jr. and Carolyn, and like
They were.
I know they died tragically, and they were very fashionable. But it's like, did you listen to that episode? Like, You don't want to model your relationship off of them.
Some of you guys did not listen to that episode.
No.
I mean, that was a really good episode. But I know. What are people basing it off of? Like, is it they like the relationship, or they just...
They like the episode? I don't know.
Or they just like how they look? I don't know.
But this couple, Beyonce and Jay-Z, I feel like they will be at least semi-finalists next time we do another March Madness bracket.
I would guess so.
I bet.
Maybe.
I can't wait to do another one.
It's so fun. And if you guys missed it, we'll do it again someday.
Yeah.
You missed a good time. Obama did get criticism for this party. The Washington Post, in an article, said, President Obama assumed the role of celebrity-in-chief again Tuesday. Not really relevant, but I do remember that, like, at the time, people were, like, judging him for hanging out with celebrities so much, and I don't know.
I get that.
It's just interesting. Yeah.
But hey, I mean...
he's popular. What
he's popular, and, like, so are they. If you're president, you're like, yeah, I can hang out with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Yeah. I like their music.
Yeah.
Why not take them up on that opportunity?
Yes.
And
I don't know if this is when it started, but this is when it started becoming very popular to accuse Beyonce and Jay-Z of being part of the Illuminati. Some, shadowy underground group that's controlling the world.
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy, exactly. And, she's acknowledged this in her music. What did you say? Y'all corny with that Illuminati shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could believe that there are groups of people that, like, meet up and stuff, but I don't think it's, like, as insidious or, like, all controlling as people think. But I don't want to get too much.
I don't really get it.
Yeah, but even, like, the stuff, because Freemasons, that's a similar thing people get all, like, nervous about, that Freemasons are, like, controlling everything. And it's true. Freemasons are a real group of people that meet, and there's all these, like, levels to it and stuff, but I've heard that it's, like, not... It's all just show, basically.
Yeah.
It's, like, they make it seem really important, but it's not... They're not really doing much. It's just, like, a bunch of traditions.
Yeah.
Basically, people just thought that, like, or still think that it's, like, this exclusive group of people that only certain people get invited to, and they're, like, making decisions about how the whole world should run.
How can they do that? That would be so hard.
I think they think that, like, world leaders are, like, billionaires are in it, and they're influencing politics, and, I mean, it's true, Beyonce and Jay-Z combined are billionaires, and he's a mega businessman, and I can see why people get all paranoid and think these things, but I almost think it's, like, it's more exciting to think it's true. I think they just want money.
Yeah.
But anyway, 2013, for Obama's second inauguration, the couple was there again, and this time Beyonce sang the national anthem. In July, Jay's album Magna Carta Holy Grail is released, and Beyonce is on part 2 On the Run. And then in December, her self-titled album was released out of nowhere. This was a big deal. With a visual album. She did no promotion for it or anything. And I feel like since then, some artists have done this, but at the time it felt very revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like, she just dropped an album. Oh my God. And this was the album that had Drunk in Love with Jay-Z and Partition. And Jay-Z's in the videos. He's in Partition. He's like, I rewatched it recently. He's sort of like an observer watching her perform in like a burlesque show. It's very sexy. And they performed Drunk in Love together at the Grammys a month later. This was a huge time. This is like what we're talking about, like Beyonce just being so popular.
Yeah. Huge.
Huge.
Drunk in Love.
2014, the elevator incident.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk about this. Can't believe we have this. This is why they're not in the Illuminati. You would know to not release that video. Or
they would have stopped it.
Yeah.
The elevator incident. In case you don't know about this, I'm going to walk you through everything that happened. This was following a the Met Gala after party at the Standard Hotel in New York. And basically, footage from a hotel elevator was released showing Beyonce's sister Solange fighting Jay-Z, kicking him and attacking him. And what happened was they got in on the 18th floor. B walks in first. She seems rather calm. And then Solange walks in. And then Jay. And then Julius DeBoer, Beyonce's bodyguard, who's been her bodyguard since 2008. Once Jay enters the elevator and the doors closed, Solange raises a finger and goes right up to him to yell at him. She starts hitting him, pushing him, kicking him, and then Julius, the bodyguard, holds her back. Beyonce is just standing there next to Jay doing nothing. Literally, her hands are just like by her side. She doesn't even try to stop it.
Wow.
And then Julius, the bodyguard, is holding Solange back, and Jay goes in to yell and sort of reaches towards her. Then Beyonce seemingly does yell something and steps forward. And then Solange, while she's being held back, reaches out and kicks Jay again. He grabs her leg. Beyonce kind of pushes Solange away. Solange is still yelling. Julius is holding her back. He keeps pressing the elevator buttons. It's funny, he keeps pressing the buttons, like, over and over, trying to make it go faster. Solange keeps yelling, and it almost seems like Beyonce's trying to ignore her, or maybe just trying to ignore the whole situation. Like, she's really not reacting. It's very weird. And it's just interesting to interpret what's going on here, because she's standing next to Jay. She seems kind of, like, solid by his side, but she also isn't trying to, like, dispute whatever Solange is saying.
Yeah.
You know, whatever Solange, her sister, is yelling at her husband, she's not mad at her sister, or she's not telling her sister, you're wrong. We don't know what she's saying, but, you know, she's just kind of staying neutral throughout it. Once they finally reach the lobby, Solange tries, it's crazy, like, it seems kind of composed, like, they finally got to the lobby, like, okay, let's just get out of here, but once the door almost opens, Solange tries to attack him again.
Oh my god.
But Julius stops her. The doors keep closing, and they keep opening it, and then closing it again, and opening again. Julius tries to calm Solange down, and then just as they're about to walk out the door, Solange strikes again and hits him. They talk about, I think they're talking about what they're going to do. Beyonce's, like, pointing to the lobby, and then finally they all walk out. And as they walk out of the hotel, they're all playing it cool, and there's a huge crowd of people. It's just so crazy to think about, like, if you were in that crowd, you have no idea what happened, you know? And Beyonce and Solange get into a car together, but Jay doesn't. He walks away into the crowd, and he gets into another car. It's kind of scary. Like, I watched this video of what was going on the street, and there were all these people yelling, and some people were yelling at him that he's in the Illuminati, and there's so many people. It was kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, that is, and after an incident,
yeah,
that would feel so intense.
So intense.
Yeah, I think
what happened?
I think the most telling thing about that elevator incident is how neutral Beyonce stays. Like, even if he did something pretty bad, like cheated on her, I think a lot of people in that situation, if they saw their sister getting violent with their husband, would still be like, hey, calm down. Like, don't get physical here.
She's just letting it happen.
So he had to do something really bad that she's like, okay, go off on him. She's like, I'm not going to hit him, but you can if you want to. Like, that has to be pretty bad, whatever he did to upset Solange that badly. And, like, Solange isn't even the one that... I'm assuming it was infidelity that got cheated on. Can you imagine
Solange,
that? I was just
she seems to be like a very independent woman. She's just like fighting for her sister, I think.
I was gonna say, can you imagine if that happened in our family? But I actually, with our parents' generation, I actually could picture that happening.
Yes,
that seems like something that would. Maybe not our...
I don't think it ever got physical, but I think that basically did happen.
Yes, there was a car chase. There was
a car chase. There was spying. There was there's a private investigator.
Yeah, a lot of drama.
Yes.
But I mean,
what happened? So
have they ever spoken about this?
They have spoken about this.
Oh, wow.
But first, a source spoke about this to People magazine, and this source claimed that, and it's kind of crazy this is to People, because I always think of People as pretty, like, reputable, but the source said that Solange had a run-in with the fashion designer Rachel Roy earlier in the night. and said that Solange was provoked by Rachel and said toward the end of the night, Jay said something inappropriate to Beyonce and Solange, and she snapped. When they got in the elevator, it escalated quickly the way family tensions can. It got exceptionally heated the way family moments can. Okay, so who's Rachel Roy? Apparently she previously interned at Rockaware, which is Jay-Z's fashion label, and she eventually became the creative director of the women's and children's line. And in 2005, Jay bought out... Okay, this is interesting. He started the label with his friend, the producer Damon Dash, and in 2005, Jay-Z bought Dash out of his share, and then Rachel Roy and Dash married, and then Roy started her own fashion label. And then in 2009, Dash, that friend, and Rachel Roy divorced a year after Beyonce and Jay-Z were married. So I don't know if, like, the people might be just speculating, but people seem to think that some kind of interaction with this woman, Rachel Roy, set this off. So people think he might have cheated with her.
Well, doesn't Rachel kind of implicate herself later on? Do you have that in your notes?
Yeah, so later on in the future, Beyonce has her Lemonade album where she talks about infidelity, talking about her man cheating on her, and there's a lyric about Becky with the good hair being the woman that the man is with, and Rachel posted a picture on Instagram of her and her friends, like, having a good time partying, and the caption says, "Good hair, don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or self-truths, always, live in the light, hashtag no drama queens."
No, queens. Rachel, why would you implicate yourself like that? Girl, you could have just, like, not said anything and, like, let people believe that you were unjustly attached to this.
Right. I don't know why she did that.
But
there's probably more to the story. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, maybe she thought that, like, they had an open relation or something. Like, maybe Jay lied to her. Like, we don't really know.
Oh, yeah. But hey, like, don't shade Beyonce. Like,
I know.
You cheated with her man. No drama queens. Like, hey, I think you're allowed to be dramatic if your husband cheated with someone. But I love, if you have time, Wendy Williams. Look this up afterwards. Her recapping of the elevator thing and what she thinks happened is so funny. Like, it's like Solange being like, "You're not gonna do this with my sister here. You're not gonna do," like, she, like, it's so funny and, like, animated. And I think it is what happened.
Yeah.
Said something inappropriate and she said, "Nuh-uh, like, not today. I'm done with this."
I still remember, this was back when I used to watch SNL, like, every week. I loved Saturday Night Live. I remember they had a skit that was someone's, I think they still do this. It was like someone saying what happened in the elevator, and it was that there was a spider on Jay-Z and that Solange was trying to get it off of him, and I still always think about that. She was like, get it, kick it, Solange. I love you, Solange. It's just that she was kicking a spider.
That's so funny. Yeah, seems like it was more intense. But that is, like, an interesting thing that we haven't really explored before. Like, not just getting cheated on, but if someone you love is cheated on, that is an even different thing. And I feel like if you're in a relationship and you get cheated on, I feel like it's almost easier to forgive because there's all these other things at play. And, like, you love them. Like, that makes you willing to stick it out and forgive them. But if someone you love gets cheated on, it's hard to repair that relationship with that person, whether it's a brother-in-law or a friend.
Because you're not in love with them.
No.
You don't have rose-colored glasses on about them.
No. I mean, and how can you trust them again?
Yeah. I feel that. I feel very protective of my sisters.
Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't been in a situation like that, but I just hate to see them hurt or upset.
Yeah.
And anytime I hear about someone being, like, rude to my sisters or something, I get so mad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we said, in our family, there was a, long ago, even, like, before we were born, but there was a cheating scandal.
Yes.
And it lived on and on and on, like, in the lore of our family.
Yes.
And people still are not over it.
Nope, never will be.
No. Because that hurts. Like, you're not just betraying the person you're dating, you're betraying their whole family and their friends and everyone who loves them too.
It's very hard to repair that trust again. What's weird is after this, their father, Matthew Knowles, said that the elevator incident was a scheme for attention.
No, I don't buy it.
Okay, here it is. He said that they needed something to ignite that tour. This was to KRBE radio. He said they needed something to ignite that tour because later on they go on tour. It's called a Jedi mind trick. The Jedi mind trick fools you a lot of the time. So things you see sometimes are he made a gesture like a puff of smoke. All I know is everybody's talking about it. Ticket sales went up. Solange's album sales went up 200%. It is true that all their music, all the sales went up, but I don't think that that's something you can, like, fake. It just didn't seem like it at all. I think he's just...
Yeah.
Maybe trying to make it seem like their family isn't dysfunctional and, like, also, it was all on purpose.
I feel like if it was on purpose, you wouldn't tell us.
Yeah, I know. That's so true. Why would... Yeah.
Why would you pull back the
Either
curtain?
he's, like, blowing their cover or... He's just coming up with some story. Very weird. At this point, I don't think he's not Beyonce's manager anymore. He used to be, so he's kind of loose cannon right now.
Yeah, I could see just being like, okay, like one of my daughters is getting physical in an elevator. I need to. Yeah, but I mean, maybe it's not like crazy, but I don't think so. I mean, they have a young child together too. Like it's kind of embarrassing.
And the footage was released by the hotel. I think they sold it to a publication. It wasn't like they released it themselves.
Yeah, I wonder how many hotels or establishments have crazy security footage.
It's kind of stressful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually they're not like celebrities aren't beating somebody up for the most part. They might have footage of like people making out and stuff in elevators. That'd be pretty interesting.
It seems kind of illegal.
I was thinking that, yeah.
But I actually sometimes in my job I do write about security cameras, and I think it's legal if there's no audio, and there is no audio.
Yeah.
So it is illegal to record somebody speaking without their consent.
Interesting. Yeah, but I feel like in a hotel, even though, yeah, you're not in your room, you're in the elevator, like, you would assume that you're in private.
Mm-hmm. It is weird we haven't seen more videos of people just standing in the elevator.
I know.
We're just like walking down a hallway. I don't know. A few weeks after this elevator incident, Jay and Beyonce did not attend Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's wedding, which they were invited to. And I should mention that Jay and Kanye have been collaborators, like friends, brothers, they've said, for years. They've been really close. And so it was kind of a big deal that they didn't go to this. And Kanye, I mean... This was back in the day, you know, this was before Kanye was the way he is now, and people liked him in the public. I mean, yeah, he always had an ego, but people liked him at this time. But
yeah,
Kanye told Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club, he said, "I was hurt about them not coming to the wedding. I understand they were going through some things, but if it's family, you're not going to miss a wedding."
I get it, but they had a destination wedding. Like, they were getting married in Italy. I know they're big celebrities, but if your marriage is on the rocks, do you want to get in a plane with someone and like go to a different country with them, go to a wedding where there's gonna be cameras and people talking about you?
I could see Jay-Z going by himself, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's probably what he's more mad about. It's just the fact that Jay-Z didn't go.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, it happens. I mean...
It happens. I mean, yeah, they go to Italy a lot, so, like, it doesn't seem like a great excuse, but...
No, but, I mean...
If they were truly, like, maybe on the verge of breaking up or something, I can kind of get it. 2 months later, Solange actually spoke to Lucky magazine and said, "What's important is that my family and I are all good. What we had to say collectively was in the statement that we put out, and we all feel at peace with that." And so the statement was... It was very PR. It said, "There's been a great deal of speculation about what triggered that unfortunate incident, but the most important thing is that our family has worked through it. Jay and Solange each assume their share of responsibility for what has occurred. They both acknowledge their role in this private matter, and that has played out in the public. They both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. The reports of Solange being intoxicated or displaying erratic behavior throughout the evening are simply false. At the end of the day, families have problems, and we're no different. We love each other, and above all, we are family. We've put this behind us, and we hope everyone else will do the same.
I feel like if she was drunk, like, it would make more sense, but
yeah, I feel like every fight I've ever seen, people are drunk pretty much, so it's understandable.
I can't remember the last time I laid my hands on someone, though, out of rage. It's not something that I have done.
Have you?
Well, probably just my brothers, like, growing up when we were kids, we definitely would, like, physically fight, but that's probably the only time.
Right. Last night, Caitlin was saying that she would kill me in a fight, or like totally beat me, and it was kind of making me want to fight her. But
to see, all right, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it, Caitlin.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna say that, I want to try it.
you guys would like throw punches sometimes. Not with me, but with
punches.
Each other. Not punches. But like one of you would like accidentally like bump into the other one, and then suddenly a fight would break out.
It's true.
Normal. It's a normal part of growing up.
Yes, but usually not when you're adults, which is why it's strange.
And not with your in-laws. That'd be crazy. Yeah. But I mean, I think I think why this resonated with people is because people can understand, okay, if you cheated on my sister, I'm pissed. My sister's Beyonce.
Crazy.
She birthed your child. Like,
I know.
You better sleep with one eye open.
Exactly. August 2014, she debuted a remix of her song Flawless that referenced the elevator incident. She said, "Of course, sometimes shit goes down when there's $1 billion on an elevator." Okay.
$1 billion? Is it like about...
I know.
Is it business related?
Maybe. That could be just a diversion. I don't know. In 2017, so this is later on, skipping ahead, but he did talk about this, Jay did, and he said, about Solange, we had one disagreement ever. Before and after we've been cool. And he said, she's like my sister. I will protect her. That's my sister, not my sister-in-law, period.
That is really sweet.
It is sweet.
That makes me think, like, yeah, like, that's probably why she was so angry, because they were so close, so she felt very betrayed.
And he said we've always had a great relationship. I hope that's true.
Me too. But I do think, like, what are the odds your one disagreement is on camera?
Right. And if it is about cheating, like, that's a big disagreement.
Huge. It has to be that, because for what other reason would Beyonce just stand there and not do anything?
I know. So things seem pretty low-key for, like, the next year. I mean, things are happening, but I didn't think there's anything to really put in the timeline here. But in April 2015, he did post on his Instagram private footage of them exchanging their vows. It's now been deleted. He deleted everything. I don't even know if he has an Instagram right now. He always does that. Like, he starts up his account, posts something, and then deletes the whole thing. But he had a video of their vows during his opening night of their On the Run tour, which was their joint tour. So, despite all these rumors and everything, it seems like things are still going good. I mean, they're touring together. They're showing this video of their vows. They're making it work. I don't know. But he's at least putting it out into the public that, like, we're still strong, you know?
Kind of smart to tour together. Like, if your marriage is not doing so well and one person might have problems with infidelity, like, okay, like, we have to go on
my
tour.
eye on you.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. 2016, March 2nd, there is a song by Fat Joe and Remy Ma that is a remix of the song All the Way Up featuring Jay-Z. And on the track, he raps, "You know you made it when the fact your marriage made it is worth millions. Lemonade is a popular drink and still is."
Oh.
which Lemonade hasn't actually come out yet, the album, but he's clearly referencing the album that's about to come out. And I thought that phrasing was weird. Lemonade is a popular drink and still is, but apparently that line is from a Gang Starr song from 1992.
Oh, okay.
Well, because then a month later, her album Lemonade comes out.
Okay. Huge. Wasn't this also a surprise drop? Am I wrong?
Yes. This was a big deal, and this was a big turning point in Beyonce's career. I mean, it was a lot more political than before. This was her really embracing her blackness, like her family's past, her upbringing in the South. But there's also a lot of themes about betrayal, anger, and forgiveness, which people can assume is about Jay-Z. And there's a lot of lyrics about Jay cheating. And some of the lyrics are things like, okay, I just have like a bunch of phrases here. I have, what a wicked way to treat the girl who loves you. You can taste the dishonesty. It's all over your breath.
Yeah.
Tonight I regret the night I put that ring on. And I was just wondering, what does Jay think about this?
Yeah.
It's just very interesting to me. And how, as a couple, do they navigate this? Because usually when people write angry songs about somebody, they're not together anymore. And it's just so interesting that they're still together.
It's so crazy when you hear some of the songs on that album and like the female rage that you feel. And like even one song, she's what's this? Oh my god, I'm not gonna get the lyrics right, but it's like I kind of want to look up the lyrics.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's imagine for a moment that you never made a name for yourself or master wealth. They had you labeled as a king, never made it out the cage, still out there moving in them streets, never had the baddest woman in the game up in your sheets. Would they be down to ride? No. They used to hide from you, lie to you, but y'all know we were made for each other, so I find you and hold you down. It's like saying basically you wouldn't even be able to cheat if you weren't with me and you weren't as big of a star that you are, and I made you even bigger than you are.
Crazy.
But like honestly needed to be said. Maybe for him it's like, well, this album kind of saved our marriage because she like needed to get this out and it was therapeutic.
True. Maybe, yeah. Because I was wondering, like, what does he think about this? And Vanity Fair did have an article titled, What Does Jay-Z Think of Lemonade? And in the article, I mean, they just pulled together a lot of quotes from other places, but it said, Jay was involved in the creation of Lemonade and knew every song Bey was going to release. A source close to the couple tells E! He knew the lyrics, he knew the implications, he had to approve the songs before release. Jay is all about self-expression, so he gets it. Beyonce shares music before it's released with Jay, so he can listen and share his thoughts. When it comes to music, they're very in it together and supportive of each other's craft. Yeah, according to the same person, Jay-Z also saw a personal upside to the album. Jay is a very smart businessman. Bottom line is they're both really smart, and they both saw dollar signs.
Ooh, yeah. That makes sense. I mean,
what were you gonna say?
I could see them both as artists being like, we can separate our relationship and our personal feelings with like the art that we're creating. Maybe that was healing for them to separate their story in that way, and then like it helps them move past it. Like we went through this like really shitty thing, but now we have this really artistic and also lucrative project that we got from it, so it's worth it in the long run.
I do think that would suck for him to get hate from the beehive, as they call themselves, but I don't think that people that listen to Jay-Z and like his music would really care. I don't think that it would affect his career.
I don't think so.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I almost think this is weird. I don't know. I was almost thinking like about the stabbing story, like I think, I hope this isn't like a bad generalization, but I just feel like in a lot of rap songs in that industry, in that scene, it's like kind of an understanding that men cheat, and it's talked about in a lot of songs. And he does talk about it too. And like, I don't know if I think it was a risk, but I don't think that he thought that was going to like tank his career. You know?
I mean,
for him.
It's so unfortunate. We've talked about this on the podcast many times. Like, I think in a lot of male-dominated spaces, like rap, like rock and roll, like sports, it is the norm and socially acceptable to cheat, and it's almost like,
Yes.
I bet maybe embarrassing if you are faithful
Yeah.
among, like, in front of your peers or your boys, because, like, everybody's just cheating and, like, it's
Yeah.
expected of you.
I do wonder about, like, the extent to things went, because I do wonder, is that really the only woman he cheated with?
I bet not.
And then sometimes I do wonder, do they have some kind of understanding?
Yeah.
Because why? I mean, maybe she has just completely forgiven him, and they just completely moved past it, and it's beautiful and glorious, and it was hard and everything. But like, maybe I'm just putting them too high on a pedestal, but I just find it so hard to believe that, like, these huge stars, that she would put up with that. And you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder.
But, like, that sucks.
It's a conspiracy.
If they
but
have
if they
an
could
understanding, like, unless, like, you're
I guess
saying
I mean,
that
like, an
she-
open relationship.
Yeah, like, if she cheats with other people, too. Not
I
cheats,
don't
but,
know.
like,
That's just a speculation. But some people do think it could be possible. But I don't know. It's just an idea. But it's just hard to wrap my head around that, like, he would do that to Beyonce. And
I
that,
know.
you know.
Yeah, literally,
It's hard.
Like she said. I think, isn't there also a song where she's like, why don't you see me? Everybody else does. Like, everybody else loves her. Like, why are you treating her this way?
Mm-hmm.
I almost wonder, though, if, like, there's a part of him that feels inferior. Like, because, you know, Obama said he's not as popular as his wife. Everybody loves his wife. And I think that can make some men very insecure. And what might give them a temporary ego boost would be getting attention from someone who is less famous, who they can easily cheat with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that for sure happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could be even, like, subconsciously trying to, like, prove that, like, yeah, I deserve to be with the most beautiful, powerful woman in the world, and, like, she is lucky to be with me because people want me too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, trying to justify it.
Yeah.
But, like, a month after this album dropped, despite all the, like, rage and betrayal and everything in the album, she performed in Miami, and before she started the song Halo, she said she dedicated it to my beautiful husband, I love you so much, and he was in the audience watching. So they seem okay. And what I thought was interesting is one of the most scathing songs in the album, called Love Drought, it appears to be about Jay, but her co-writer, actually, the rapper Ingrid, came forward and said that she wrote the lyrics and that it wasn't about Jay-Z at all.
The thing about that, though, is I feel like it is still a choice to include the song in the album. And so even if you didn't write it, it might be like, well, these lyrics resonated with me.
That's true.
And
true.
You know the implication it will still have. And so
It was interesting, though, because she said that the lyrics were not about Beyonce directly, but about Beyonce's team, I guess. So the lyrics to the song are 10 times out of 9, I know you're lying, but 9 times out of 10, I know you're trying, so I'm trying to be fair, and I'm trying to be there and to care, and you've caught up in your permanent emotions, all the loving I've been giving goes unnoticed, it's just floating in the air, looky there, aren't you aware, you're my lifeline, are you trying to kill me, if I wasn't there, would you still feel me, like on my worst day, or am I not thirsty enough, I don't care about the lights or the beams, spend my life in the dark for the sake of you and me, only way to go is up, skin thick, too tough. So the lyrics are, I guess, I just thought it was interesting that it was inspired about her frustration with the label, because I guess Beyonce's teams said that they lied to her and said she wasn't listening to any new music, like she wasn't taking any songs from writers at the moment, but then 4 days later found out that she was, and she had been working with Beyonce, and she just felt frustrated that they were like her lifeline, like her work, and they were lying to her, and I don't know, it's interesting to me that it like connected to the production of the music.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's true. Like, why would Beyonce choose to put that song on the album? She definitely wanted people to think it was about Jay-Z. So, yeah.
But the other thing I remember at the time, people pushing back on the idea that it was autobiographical or about Jay-Z and saying, like, well, this album is meant to be a representation of, like, the black female experience. that Beyonce is embodying, and like she's portraying like things that Black women go through.
And her dad cheated on her mom too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's like a very universal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jay-Z did cheat. I'm not saying he
100%.
didn't.
I like she's
but,
definitely drawing on personal experience.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he didn't at all, but I'm just saying that it might not be as like line for line,
Yeah.
you know, autobiographical.
I agree. And like that's what
people might
made
think.
Lemonade such a great album, because like it really did speak to so many, like it was bigger than Beyonce. That's I do think it should have won album of the year that year.
Yeah.
As Adele.
My friend Brittany, shout out. I always talk about her. She actually made CD copies of that album and gave them to all of us, our friends, because she just thought that everybody needed to hear it, and she wanted to make sure that everybody heard it.
Aww.
So I still have a CD with like a homemade cover from Brittany. So thank you. Beyonce attended the Met Gala shortly after all of this solo, after releasing Lemonade. So people were kind of like, "Ooh, what's going on? She's by herself." But then she had that like tribute to him at her concert, so they seem okay. And then October 2016, he performed at the final show of Beyonce's tour, and then also in October they dressed up as Barbie and Ken for Halloween.
Oh, but ahead of their time.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time. I don't know if I have time to include this, but just like more of Kanye just fueling the Illuminati fire that at his show in 2016, he on stage started like ranting about Beyoncé and Jay-Z. And okay, maybe I'll just read it. He said like, "You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Beyonce. I was hurt because I heard you said you wouldn't perform unless you won Video of the Year over me and over Hotline Bling. In my opinion, now don't go dissing Beyonce. She's great. Taylor Swift is great. We're all great people. We're all equal. But sometimes we be playing the politics too much and forget who we are just to win. Fuck winning. Fuck looking cool. Fuck looking cool. Fuck being cool. Fuck all that, brah." And then he says, "Jay-Z, call me, brah. You still ain't called me. Jay-Z, call me. I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man."
Oh, Kanye. He does say that stuff about so many people, though. I think he was like accusing Kris Jenner of stuff recently.
Yeah, and this was around the time that he was like having hallucinations and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, so it's complicated. But this definitely did fuel the fires even more, that people were like, "Oh my God, Jay-Z's like Illuminati, he's had people killed." You know what I mean?
But I mean, I'm sure Kanye knows that people say that about him, so he's like, this is gonna get attention.
Yeah. So it seems like they're not friends anymore.
No. They probably got so annoyed by him, I'm guessing.
I know.
He's probably hard to be friends with.
I know. I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to mention it. But yeah, they were busy. They had a lot going on. They probably don't have time to like really care about this.
No.
And they moved to LA they previously had been living primarily in New York, but they moved to LA. They enrolled Blue Ivy in a private school there, a school recommended by Gwyneth Paltrow.
Wow, they're really good friends.
Yeah, they are. And in December, Beyonce threw Jay a surprise birthday party, and Kelly Rowland was there too.
Nice.
From Destiny's Child. And then in 2017, it's announced that Beyonce is expecting twins. I'm sorry, I know this is going long. We're almost at the end. And I feel like, this could be just me speculating, but I feel like to avoid the accusations again about the fake pregnancy, she posted this beautiful photo of herself holding her bare belly, and she has this pale green veil over herself, and she's surrounded by flowers. It's a very beautiful picture. But she's clearly showing, like, yes, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Here's my stomach. And there were a couple other, like, photo shoots of her, like, clearly showing her stomach. So
I remember where I was.
I think it's interesting.
When I saw this, I was in class.
Really?
Yeah, pulled up the Instagram, first picture. My jaw dropped. I was like, oh my God. So it's real this time.
Yeah. The picture was a big deal.
Twins. That's crazy that she's someone who has given birth to twins, because that's a pretty dangerous pregnancy. I mean, I know a lot of people do it, but like,
Mel's a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin. But like, ooh, that takes a lot out of you. I mean, I don't know for sure. I was on the different end of it, so. But
took a lot out of you being born.
well, like, a lot of times when you have twins, like, they're premature. They probably have to spend a lot of time in the NICU. And
yeah, that's a lot.
And it's crazy. She really does it all.
Mm-hmm. She does. And yeah, they were born in June. Rumi and Sir. I feel like we've talked about Sir on the podcast before. Or was it off the mic?
What a strange name.
That's a pretty ridiculous name.
Sir, like, imagine his teacher in class being like, "Sir, sit down, sir."
Sir,
listen up. Like, that's not...
We were joking about, imagine if someone was named Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, sit down.
Ma'am.
Very formal.
It's real. I don't like it. I hope he has a little nickname.
It's gonna be a serious dude.
Yeah, Sir.
Yeah. I like Rumi, though. Rumi's cute.
Maybe if it was spelled like S-U-R, Sir, and it was after like Big Sir or something.
Big Sir. Mm-hmm.
But Sir, like Sir Carter, it just, or like, it's like Mr.
Sir Carter. Yeah.
It's not
Mr.
a name. And it's not cute. It's not like...
No.
You need a name that's
very
good
serious.
for adulthood and for childhood.
Yeah.
Rumi's cute, though. Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah. Adorable.
I wonder what,
later
where they got that, Rumi.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably could have looked into it, but I didn't. Later on, Jay-Z, that year, he released his 13th album. So much for retiring. 444. As I've said, 4 is their number. And he does talk about his past infidelities on the album. He says, "I apologize. Our love was one for the ages, and I contained us. If my children knew, I don't even know what I would do. If they ain't look at me the same, I would probably die with all this shame." They probably will find out.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
all out there, and it's in your song that you just made. But
I think that, like,
at least he's owning up to it, I guess.
That does really stick with children. One parent being unfaithful to the other. It sucks. And then I feel like kids grow up thinking, like, will that happen to me, or will I do the same thing?
Yeah.
Like,
hopefully they don't hear it until they're older.
Yeah.
In 2017, he did an interview for New York Times with Dean Baquet, and I won't read the whole thing, but he talked about infidelity, and he really brought it up. I feel like Dean wasn't even, like, pressing him. He was just pretty, like, open about it and about making the music and how it was cathartic for them. And yeah, I might just skip it because it's getting long, but he was just very forthcoming about it. And I feel like nowadays it seems like, at least when I was just going through all the news articles over the years, it seems like he was talking about their lives more than her. Like, he was opening up a lot more frequently than she really doesn't talk about her personal life anymore. It's just kind of like in the music. She doesn't really sit down and talk about things very often anymore.
Yeah.
He, in 2018, did an interview for CNN with Van Jones, and he once again talked about cheating and said that the best apology is changed behavior, and that the other side is beautiful, at least for us, and said that the twins were great. He said, "We're in a beautiful time now because they're 7 months, and they can't move. They just coo, and you don't have to wait, they're not running around yet. We just get to enjoy these couple of months until they start running, and then it's over."
Oh. Wait, do you mind if I go to the bathroom again?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Maybe I will, too.
Okay. All right. I'm back.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
I'm sorry this is so long.
No, it's honestly, like, shorter than some of our other episodes. Wasn't John Mayer and Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, like, 3 hours?
I think I don't know if they were officially 3 hours, but they were close.
Yeah, I think.
But I only have a page and a half left.
No, honestly, I think
we're almost done.
It's shorter than I expected.
Anyway, September they went to Sardinia to celebrate Beyonce's 36th birthday, and an Instagram post is a very natural picture of her and Jay outside, and, natural light. Looked very normal with a birthday cake. And in the post, she revealed that they had renewed their vows.
Oh.
So, okay, they're serious about staying together. Next step, renewal, all of that. And a month later, they released a joint album by the Carters, they called Everything Is Love. I feel like this album wasn't that huge. I didn't really hear about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't Lemonade level, but there were some lyrics that gave some insight into the relationship. On the song Nice, she said, Last Name, Gonna Be Here Forever. On the song Heard About Us, they said, we're the ones y'all worried about. We good, keep us out of your mouth. If you don't know, now you know. Okay. And Beyonce also on the album said, yeah, you fucked up. The first stone, we had to get remarried. You did some things to me, boy, you did some things to me, but love is deeper than your pain, and I believe you can change. Baby, the ups and downs are worth it. Long way to go, but we'll work it. We're flawed, but we're still perfect for each other. Sometimes I thought we'd never see the light. Went through hell with heaven on our side. This beach ain't always been no paradise, but nightmares only last one night.
I hope so.
Very positive.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I hope so.
I do think, like, if they went through all of that together and then they're both so public about it and he's so forthcoming about how he's messed up, that does instill some trust that, like, okay, if he, like, were to fuck up again after they go through all of that, I know. It seems like there's probably, like, more stopping him now because he, like, understands the consequences more. Mm-hmm. But does he? Like, she did forgive him, so I'm not sure.
I know. Ugh. Sometimes I do feel, like, cynical. Like, is this just, like, the story they're telling us?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I don't know. But that's the story they're telling us, that it seems like they're strong and they've moved on and they've renewed their vows. And
it does seem like they're always together, like, always working together, that, like, there's less opportunities to cheat.
That's true. They are always together.
They do prioritize their relationship and, like,
That's true, Mel. They're definitely not one of those couples that's like, we rarely see each other.
Oh, yeah.
No. They are together a lot, so that's true. Yeah, and then 2019, they're touring together again, and, yep, their net worth surpasses $1 billion.
Wow.
In 2021, there were weirdly 2 stories that came out about Beyonce having been with other men, and they might not be true. One of them is pretty innocent, actually. The producer Benny Blanco was on the Zane Lowe show, and he told a story about how he once accidentally kissed Beyonce on the lips when he meant to kiss her goodbye on the cheek, and that Jay-Z was right there, and he was terrified.
Yeah.
But he says that no one noticed, and no one said anything.
No, yeah, she's not cheating with him.
No. I thought that was just funny.
Yeah.
Then there's this other story, and this is actually has kind of a trail to it. There's a lot of stories about her having something with the rapper Sean Paul, but it might have been, like, so long ago, like, back in the beginning of their relationship, when they maybe weren't even official, or I don't know. But they did do a song together, Baby Boy, and Sean Paul was on a radio show and he talked about, he claimed that Jay wasn't comfortable with his collaboration with Beyonce on Baby Boy because he didn't like them spending time together, and he's clarified and he said, it was a radio show here in Jamaica and I get this regularly. I don't know what it is. People are like, so tell me. And it gets to that part in the interview where they're like, what happened with you and Beyonce? Nothing really happened. The hit song was dope. And then he went on to mean what he meant by nothing really happened, and he said, you know, some of them made up their own mind, that's the whatever. Sometimes with interviews you can say, I'd rather not speak about it, but then people think something was going on, so I was trying to defend it, like, hey, nah, but weird things did happen.
What?
Yeah, because that's probably why there were rumors, but people leave out that's probably the rumors part. And the weird, he created a mess, because then people were like, what do you mean by weird things happen? And it was like something about the music or whatever, so I don't really know what was going on with that.
I kind of think he's looking for attention.
Yeah, it seems like it. I agree. I don't know why, like, around this time, it was like within the same month both of these stories came out, but I think people are probably just trying to stir up controversy, you know. Probably nothing happened.
Yeah.
2022, Beyonce released her Renaissance album, which is very much like a club dance, more like electronic type album. And I mean, I don't really go to clubs, so I haven't heard it as much, but people have talked about how, like, at the club they'll just play this whole album straight through, and how you never see that, and it's been such a monumental album. And she did not win Album of the Year again at the Grammys, and Jay-Z was really upset about that, and was kind of, like, speaking about it. And I just gotta say, this might be controversial, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
Because Beyonce has won 32 Grammys.
She's won every, like, more Grammys than anybody else.
Yeah.
She's never won album of the year.
32. But who cares?
But
like, so many people have never won a single Grammy. Bob Marley never won a Grammy. Jimi Hendrix never won a Grammy. ABBA, Queen. I made a list. The Who, the Beach Boys. The Beatles only won 7 Grammys. Like, I just don't care.
Also, like, I just, like, don't care about the Grammys in general. I think it's, like, cringe when some celebrities, like Taylor Swift and people are obsessed with the Grammys. Like, okay, it's just whatever music is popular, and it's entirely subjective. It's not, it's even, like, worse than the Oscars. Like, it's, like...
it's way worse.
It has not a lot of merit, in my opinion.
I mean, at least the Oscars, I feel like it is legit because they do reward movies that no one's really seen.
Yeah.
So I think that people are actually voting for what they think is best in their industry. But yeah, I mean, she has 32. Like, it just seems poor taste of him to keep talking. I don't know.
I do think that, and also I feel like Beyonce probably doesn't want him to. Like, I feel like she doesn't really like when people are, like, advocating for her on her behalf and...
Yeah, I agree.
Like, kind of undermining other people. But, I mean, I do think Renaissance probably should have beat Harry Styles. I do feel like I actually don't listen to Renaissance that often. There's a couple songs on there that I like. But, like you said, it sounds like it was huge in clubs. And, like, the concert... Well, actually, they're not judging it off the concert. So, I don't know.
It's tough.
I think it did have a bigger impact probably than Harry Styles' album. Same with Lemonade, even though Adele's album people really like. But I don't know. I think for Jay-Z, he was like speaking to the Grammys generally don't reward like black artists or more hip-hop artists as much.
The album of the year.
For album of the year specifically. But yeah, like you said, Beyonce has so many Grammys that it just kind of seemed almost like he was embarrassing her a little bit by talking about that on stage.
Yeah.
Like, when looking at her, she was like, okay.
Yeah.
I do. It is interesting that he said some of you don't belong in the category. I like, looking at the whole list, I was like, who is he talking about?
Oh, who do you think?
I don't know. Like, maybe Boy Genius?
You guys know I love Phoebe Bridgers' music. I like all 3 of those artists. I do like Boy Genius. I like their EP a lot, but I agree.
Yeah, I agree if that's...
I don't think they should have been nominated for best album. I didn't think that album was that good.
Maybe Miley Cyrus for Endless Summer Vacation?
Maybe. I don't know.
Better hope he's not talking about Lana Del Rey.
I don't think so.
No. Probably not talking about Taylor Swift.
Maybe.
Could be. Probably not.
Where do I see the list? How do I find the list of albums?
I just looked up Album of the Year 2024 nominees. SZA for SOS. Olivia Rodrigo, Guts.
How many albums are in the category?
Let me see.
Some of you shouldn't be in the category. Oh my god.
That was ballsy he said that. There was
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people nominated. Or 8 artists nominated. It was John Baptiste, World Music Radio, The Record, Boy Genius, Endless Summer Vacation, Miley Cyrus, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, Lana Del Rey, The Age of Pleasure, Janelle Monáe, Guts, Olivia Rodrigo, Midnights, Taylor Swift, SOS, SZA. Who does not belong in the category?
It's so subjective.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Then there was recently an article, I just thought it was interesting that Jay-Z revealed that Blue Ivy's name was originally going to be Brooklyn. And he said that was the name we had in theory, but when we got the little sonograms, you know, they're super small, and we were calling her Blueberry. It was just a nickname. For 9 months, we were like, look at little Blueberry, and then we just took the berry off and called her Blue.
Oh, that's cute. I mean, I do still think it is very odd that his ex... was named Blue, but maybe he wasn't even thinking about that.
I know. I don't think they were that serious.
Yeah.
Sorry to Blue Cottrell, I think her name was.
That is cute.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
I do think of Blue's Clues, like, it is really a cute name.
It is a cute name.
I think Blue is a good one.
It's creative, but it's still cute, and it sounds like a name.
Yeah.
Works. But yeah, that's actually like the end of my timeline. I mean, Beyonce's going country, Jay-Z's doing his business stuff, but they're still together. They're still pretty solid. They're older now. I mean, He's 54.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope
I think
Yeah.
they seem good right now.
they do seem very united.
Yes.
Is that one of your words?
They do. I had strong.
Strong, yeah. They seem like a strong power couple, like they've weathered the storm and that they're stronger for what they've gone through. At least that's what they want us to believe. I would have a very hard time if someone had cheated on me, ever trusting them ever again, because I feel like that is traumatizing. But
It is.
I'm happy for them.
You don't often see people work through that
Yeah. I think
on this show. It's
definitely an exception, and I feel like the art is like what helped them get through it, that they could like remove themselves from it, create something, and then put that out there.
And she just seems really strong, and like she does have her mind looking forward, and she is very ambitious, and I think not just about her career but also about her marriage and about her family, and I think that she just doesn't give up. And but I hope that he really has. I mean, he's talked about like he's been to therapy and stuff. It seems like he has been doing the work.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's true.
I mean, that would suck to lose Beyonce after everything.
Yes.
So I wish them nothing but the best, but if they broke up, I would definitely pick her.
Me too. He definitely had some eyebrow raising moments throughout this story.
Yeah.
Should we say odds they stay together?
50.
50.
Which is pretty high for celebrity couples.
I'll say 60.
Yeah.
Just because it's been so long.
And plus, they do have $1 billion. Like, that would be a messy divorce.
Yeah.
You do wonder in those situations, like, I guess you were saying, like, if they could have an agreement, like, you get to a point where you're so powerful. It's just...
You're just, like, better together.
Yeah.
It's almost like a royal couple. They seem that way. I mean, they are just people at the end of the day, but it sometimes just seems that way. Things might be different for people like that. I don't know.
I'm sure.
Anyway, well, that's Beyonce and Jay-Z. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kelly, for hosting this episode. This was so entertaining, and I know it was a long one and you were nervous, but it was so engaging throughout the whole episode. It was great.
Oh.
And it'll be a great episode.
You were a great listener and host.
So, can you tease our next episode?
Next episode, I would be very surprised if somebody guessed this, but I wanted to do something more historic. It's kind of been a while, and I was really feeling the Wild West. Maybe I think I was influenced by several things, but maybe slightly influenced by Beyonce's song. So this episode is a couple from the old Wild West, and you may have heard of one of these people.
I think one of these people, they name dropped
Giddy up
them in The Parent Trap.
Oh. Yep, you heard it. That's our hint.
That's it. I think a major hint.
It's a major
like I just like gave it all away.
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, I think they do.
But I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good vibe. So,
I'm excited.
Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, and we will get back together next week.
Bye.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come?